And welcome to Yoga in Small Spaces with Cheryl. I am Cheryl. For today's class, we're going to do another Yin session. That's my focus for this month. Right now it's February 2025. Last month my focus was somatics. And this month I'm putting up 2 classes a week of Yin, kind of getting around the 30-minute mark. So for today, we are going to focus when we go into the poses for a 2-minute hold per pose. I will try my best to give you verbal modifications, variations, or even showing those modifications and variations. And also another thing I want to tap into to kind of broaden the way you're thinking coming into these poses is what joints are we hitting, I guess, in a way, or using in these poses, in these asanas. So just another layer to think of. So what joints for the pose? What area are you feeling the discomfort? So remember, discomfort is not pain or strain. It is where you're feeling a nice stretch. And when that discomfort subsides, starts to disappear, your fascia is loosening up, getting nice and moist, and giving that release to your muscles. So if you are in pain in anything, you need to modify or change it, or altogether just maybe not do it. So I want you to keep that in mind. So also, always with Yin, I think anyways, have some props by you. I have my blocks, I have a blanket, and I have a bolster. If you don't have these type of props in your home or wherever you're practicing, always, like, you can use books, solid books. You can use pillows. You can stack blankets folded up. There's always options in what you can do. So we're going to start off actually with, I always say this in my other videos when I do this pose, Bananasana, which is probably one of my favorite Yin poses. And so I'm going to put everything away here or off my mat, because I know I don't need the blanket and the bolster and blocks for this. So I'm going to come on to the mat. I'm actually going to start with lying the left side of my body to the length of my mat. And before I even move into Bananasana on the first side, I'm just going to give myself a moment here to feel what's going on through my body. Also noticing mentally for me what's going on through the brain. And then allowing myself to completely come into connection with my breath. Not changing the pattern of my breath, just noticing the natural flow. I'm going to do 3 cleansing breaths, which means I'll be inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. I'm going to inhale through the nose. Returning to my natural breath. And getting ready for Bananasana. So when you hear the word, you can hear banana. So we are going into a shape of a banana, or it's like a laying down crescent moon. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my feet to the bottom corner of my right mat, of the bottom corner of my mat, right corner. And I'm just going to kind of see how this feels first before I add anything else. I'm going to make sure that my left hip stays anchored down. So if I put a board or even a bolster or a block across my pelvis, it would be even. We don't want that left hip lifting up, which means you're uneven on the underside of the body. Now from here, I'm noticing I may be able to go a little bit further. So I'm just going to walk my feet a little bit further just because I know I'm able to. And I'm going to bring the arms up over my head. And I'm noticing it feels good. If you ever experience numbness or tingling with the arms up overhead, I highly suggest you bring that arm or arms down, because that probably means you have a pinched nerve. I'm now going to curve my upper body. And we're going to be here for 2 minutes. And always, as I say, if there's anything you need to readjust, we want to be in stillness, but you'll notice eventually a sensation disappears. Remember what I mean by sensation? It is not pain or strain. You want to be able to breathe with ease. You want to feel beautiful deep stretch, but where you have control of breath. And just noticing here what joints you're working in, or they're added to this pose. I'm going to actually rotate my neck to the left to give a little ease into my neck. So for myself, I'm working the left hip, but also right hip with the compression. I do have my feet flexed, so I'm working into the ankle joint. With the arms extended, I'm working into the shoulders. We're just over 1 minute. And because my elbows are bent, I am working into my elbows and a little bit into my wrists, depending on how the arms are. But now that I've let my hands be relaxed, they're not really being worked, the wrists. I feel I can go a little bit further, so I'm walking my feet a little bit further to the right, curving the body, upper body. Left shoulder stays anchored down. Remember, left hip is anchored down. Let's do 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to slowly walk my feet first, bringing my legs back in line with the hips, bringing my torso in line with hips, releasing my arms down. Nice deep breath in, breath out. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to be moving my body now to the right edge of my mat, lining it up. I do have, like I always say, I have a very tender lower back. So I am going to just bend my knees to give myself a little bit leverage here to gently slide my body over, lining it up with the right side of my mat, allowing my head and arms be relaxed. And here we go. We're going to move. First, starting with the legs walking over, bottom left corner of the mat. Ooh, I feel this already. So making sure my right hip is anchored down. And when I went, ooh, it's sensation, I'm making sure I'm not going into pain. I'm going to bring the arms up overhead and then curve my upper body. Looking at the time, and we've got 2 minutes. Nice smooth breath. For myself, I'm allowing my head to rotate a little bit more to the right. I do feel like I can walk a little bit more already with my legs. Ooh, that's about it though. I'll move my right leg and I can just feel a pull, but I still have control of my breath. I'm not tensing. Focusing the breath down, especially into my right outer side here. Let's think of those joints. Forgot to mention last time, because I did have a rotation in my neck, I'm going into the C-spine, up into the axis and atlas of the C-spine, going into the skull. Working into the shoulders, a little bit of elbows. Hips, ankles. Because as we know, or if you're not aware, that fascias are deep connective tissue. And if you've never seen a video or a picture of fascia when it's healthy, it's like a moist web throughout the whole body, and fascia runs throughout our whole entire anatomy. So when I want you to focus on the joints, there's also fascia in the joints, into the tendons, muscles. It's the coolest thing to look at. It's so cool. Remember to breathe. Taking a nice deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to walk my body. First the bottom. I like to do this very gently, not moving the whole body at the same time. Bringing torso in line, arms down. Let's do 3 cleansing breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Just gently moving my body. Whatever speaks to you for movement after those holds. I'm now going to make my way into half baby. So you're more than welcome to come into full, like a happy baby, but I'm doing one side at a time. I love to work in asymmetric movement, which is one side at a time. Symmetrical is when we're working both sides at the same time. And so when you think about a butterfly, the wings coming out, and it looks like a symmetrical movement, but when they're moving maybe one wing at a time or the other, asymmetric, all right? So here we go. I am going to make my way into the middle of my mat, keeping neck in line with the spine. Bringing knee in towards the chest. For some of you, this may be enough, holding on to the hamstring. Some of you may be holding on to calf or shin. Some of you may be able to hold on to the foot. Holding for 2 minutes, nice smooth breath. I like to close my eyes during the practice so I can get that inner sensation, inner knowing of what I'm feeling. My right leg is extended with the knee bent. You are more than welcome, with the foot flexed, my knee's not bent. What I was going to say is that you need more anchoring and support for that lower back. You can bend the right knee and have the foot flat on the mat. Let's think of those joints. My right extended leg with the grounding, I am working that right ankle. With the left leg, I'm getting into the left hip joint, left knee joint, left ankle. Because the foot is flexed, I'm getting into the Achilles, which is a tendon. Because my left hand is holding on to the left sole, I am working into that left wrist. And because the arm is coming up, there's a little bit of work going into left shoulder. We're over a minute. Focus in on the breath. Let's do 2 beautiful breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in and breath out. Releasing left leg, extending it by the right. And just giving myself a moment here to feel a difference, left to right, right to left. Gonna move to that right side for happy baby. So with the left leg, I'm flexing the left leg to have an anchoring. If you have a lower back issue and it's just uncomfortable to have that left leg extended, the left leg bent, foot anchored to the mat. I'm gonna bring right knee in towards the chest. Again, you can hold on to hamstring, calf, or if you have the ability, holding on to the sole of the foot. And here we go, 2 minutes. Think of the joints being worked, which also is fascia. When you think about it, there's all these different styles of yoga. We have our yin. You hear about vinyasa, power flows, hatha, nidra, restorative, somatic. Yin is technically the classical hatha, where we're holding the poses longer, diving deep into connective tissue. So when you look at classical hatha, while we're holding poses for long periods, it's yin. We're over a minute. You'll notice maybe there's a softening to your body, a connection, evenness of the flow of the breath. Taking a nice deep breath. Fully exhale. Release that right leg, extending it. Just notice sensation, elongation. Is there an evenness happening from left to right, right to left? How's the brain? How's the mind? And please don't judge yourself if your mind's wanting to go all over the place. We have days like that, sometimes multiple days. But kind of go on that journey where the brain's wanting to go, the thoughts. I'm going to bend my knees, bring them in towards the chest just for a moment. Just give myself a little massage, more SIQL for me. I'm going to turn to my right side and make my way up with having the legs extended out in front of me. I'm coming in to a half saddle. So this is tackling into the hamstring. If this is too intense and you prefer just to bend the leg, right leg, bringing the right sole of the foot to the inside of the left shin. Oh my goodness, left inner thigh. What I love about myself is I am more than happy to make verbal mistakes and correct them. So here we go. I'm going to bring that right foot on the outside of my hip, seeing if I can bring the right knee beside the left. For some of us, this is anatomically impossible, maybe with how the hip joint is built, or maybe there's so much tightness, the knee is going to be outwards, and that's okay. Go with what feels good. The foot can be back. For some of us, we're able to bring the foot to the side. This is uncomfortable for me. I like to have my foot tucked in beside. Now, I'm going to make my way back. This may be enough for the majority of us, okay? You're already feeling that intense stretch onto that right hamstring. But I'm gonna walk myself back. I have the blocks close by. You could also have a bolster behind you, but I'm gonna use the blocks as my guide to come down. So I am coming onto the forearms, but I'm able to bring myself down onto my blocks. This is 2 minutes. And yes, we've been here for a few seconds already. So I'll say 10 seconds already. And that means we have 1 minute and 50 seconds left. You'll notice I have my left foot flexed. That's anchoring myself down on the left. Let's think of those joints. Right ankle joint is being worked, even if you're in the other modification I showed you. So when you think of you are in the other modification, you're tackling a different part of the leg. But you're still, joint-wise, working into the ankle just a different way. But for this way, I'm getting a flexion of my, what is the word? Cheryl's having brain farts today, so not flexing. I'm getting a stretch here, but my different way of my ankle. I have compression a little bit into my Achilles. I'm working into my knee joint here on the right. And with being on the blocks, I am working into my spine also. We have less than a minute. I know for myself, I could move myself off the blocks and go lower, but I think it would be a little bit too much in my lower back, so I'm going to stay right here. But if you ever feel like you need to readjust, make that adjustment. Taking a nice deep breath. Exhale. Breath in. Breath out. One more breath in and breath out. To come out of this safely, and please listen before you move, especially if you have any spinal issues, neck issues, back issues, I recommend you roll to the left, especially if you're using a prop. Extend the right leg on top of the left. And then gently bend the knees, almost like you're in the fetal position, and just bringing yourself back up with the help with the hands. When you go to pull up out of this, try to sit up, it can put so much strain on the body, it could cause an injury. So I want you to be mindful of that. Let's move to the other side. So right leg's extended, foot is flexed for anchoring. I'm able to get my left knee beside my right knee, but for some of you, that's not possible, so please don't force it. Go to what feels good for the body. Left leg, if this is too much and you prefer just to come with the leg coming in with the left shin, left sole of the foot coming beside the right inner thigh. But I want to tackle my hamstring here a little bit more. I'm going to make my way down onto the blocks. Again, bolster. Some of you may prefer to stay up on the forearms. And here we are for 2 minutes. Think of those joints again. Where are you feeling this in the joints? And I didn't even notice that I mentioned this for the other side, but the top of your foot, if the foot isn't flexed, you're getting into those tendons going up the foot into the toes. Feel a little lopsided, so I'm just going to readjust my block on my back. And depending also where your arms are in this, for me, I just have them kind of coming out about a 45-degree distance away from my torso. If you're comfortable with the arms overhead, you can have those arms overhead and you'll be tackling into the shoulder joints. But again, remembering if any numbness happens in those shoulders, the arms, with the arms overhead, you've got a pinched nerve, so please bring the arms down. We're over a minute. Remember, if there's no sensation, readjust. You can take a bolster out from underneath, or if you want to add, if you're up high and you want to add blocks from underneath the back, so because you feel comfortable going further back. All right, taking a nice deep breath. Exhale. Now remember, coming out of this, be very kind and gentle on your way out. You're gonna roll to the right side. If you're on blocks or a bolster, off. Bring that left leg, extending onto the right. Gently bend the knees. And then using that left hand as leverage, coming up onto your mat. Nice little hairdo now, eh? Coming to a seated position. We have one more pose, and this one may be a little bit intense for some of you. We're coming into a toe squash. We are going to try to hold it for 2 minutes. For some of you, even 30 seconds is enough. So when we start, listen to what you need. And even if it's only 5 or 10 seconds, do that and then gently come out and just focus on the breath, okay? So to do this, we're going to come to kneeling. If you need support underneath the knees, add a blanket. You can also add it underneath the shins, so then there's no pressure on the knees, or you can have it underneath the knees. For myself, I'm okay on my knees. I'm going to come to my toes, or look at my toes, and see if I can get every single one of them down. I'm able to come back onto my heels. I've started time, just so you know. But for some of us, it could be forward a little bit more or onto the hands. So find that position. Like I said, I've already started the time. Seeing if I can get to 2 minutes. This is something that we can build up to also. It is quite intense. And if you have to come out, gently come out of it and just focus in on the breath. Noticing if the face is tight, allowing the face to relax. And think of those joints, knee joints, hip joints, ankles, toes, all the tendons going through the feet, that fascia. We're over a minute. 30 seconds. Remember, if you have to come out, come out. I'm just going to lean myself forward a little bit, take the intensity off. Deep breath in. Bring yourself forward off of the feet if you're still into it. Untuck, gentle tapping of the feet. Our poor feet and hands. Those are the two places on our whole body the majority of us don't think of working. The two parts of the body that we use the most every single day, and we just don't think of the TLC that we should be giving them. Let's finish the class with a beautiful cleansing breath. So hands can be on the legs, just resting, or if you're comfortable, bringing the hands to Anjuli Mudra, pushing right palm into the left, left into right, allowing those shoulders to relax away from the ears. Find that natural elongation of the spine. Taking a nice deep breath. Hold it at the top. Through the mouth, release. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to, I won't see you, but I hope you join me next time. I'll be linking another video in here, and it's just a forest bathing video. It's only about 5 minutes, but it's a nice way to connect with nature if you're somewhere in a city or whatever, and you just need to look at a screen with a beautiful, beautiful landscape. And again, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, and always be kind to yourself and others. Mwah. Thank you, everyone.